Shwmai a croeso cynnes, and welcome to the What's Your Story podcast. I'm James Owen, a Welsh filmmaker and storyteller, and I'm passionate about sharing stories. This podcast is all about business owners sharing their journey, and we'll be speaking with directors, entrepreneurs and creatives from all across Wales to learn from their experiences. We believe everyone has a story to tell. What's your story? Shwmai a croeso, welcome to the next episode of What's Your Story. And again, on the journey of speaking with Llanelli business owners, we have another in the studio today. Jamie is a small gym owner, and we're going to hear a little bit about his niche of a market, training ladies and getting them healthier, happier and fitter. And today in the studio we have Jamie Stedman. Thanks for coming on to talk about your story.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
So for those who are maybe listening, watching, could you maybe just share what is your sort of day-to-day look like as you're running Fitter Body Ladies?
So we've got like 40 classes a week going on. So as we've grown, I've sort of taken a little bit of a back step from the coaching so much. So I'm still probably taking about 10 to 20 sessions a week myself, but started to do a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff now. So there's a lot of admin involved, checking in with the ladies and things. I tend to have like different things to do on different days of the week. Monday's really busy, usually chasing the ladies who haven't been in the last week, double checking, is everything okay? Quite often I'll have a photo of, I'm just on holiday, and a little photo of them on the beach. But every day's a little bit different. Also a parent now, so that's been a big challenge. My working life's changed a lot, and it's trying to juggle things.
I bet, you sort of got married a couple of years ago, young family now, so running a business is quite tough in that sense. Now, health and fitness, I think, is a huge industry. Lots of opportunities to run a business in that space. What makes Fitter Body Ladies different to your typical corporate gyms? Okay,
so it's like I used to work in like those bigger gyms like you mentioned, and I definitely found that there was ladies especially, and these are the ones who actually came to the gym, not the ones who avoided it completely. They found themselves, a lot of them, be quite intimidated in the gym. They'd maybe stick to what they know. They'd go on the treadmill, they'd go on the bike. They'd be quite scared to go over to like the weights area, sort of like, well, that's where all the guys go and things. And so I definitely found that there was a big sort of, not necessarily market, but like a lot of these ladies were missing out on something quite important. So, and they weren't feeling overly comfortable. So we call it like gym intimidation. That's what I say in the induction. I wanted to open somewhere which was small, where the ladies could feel comfortable and they could enjoy it, and they could actually be shown what to do. And I think there was a big, again, going back to like the corporate gyms and stuff, they sort of show you around for half hour and then you're left to it, and that's it. And there's such a huge drop off then. And we wanted to give ladies sort of as much support as possible, and like for them to do it in a fun environment with like-minded ladies, similar interests, so they could come into the gym and they don't have to be like a mum, a daughter, a police officer, a nurse. They can just be them for 45 minutes and just do something for them, and then they're in a much better position to look after everybody else. Because I find especially, like, I think ladies are quite selfless and they might look after everybody else first, and then if there's a tiny bit of time left over for themselves, that's all they've got. Whereas, so that's what I wanted to help, is just give them, put them in the front. Yeah,
very true. Mothers, they'll often look after the children, or you're very right, to put themselves last on the list. And health is really important. We should all look after ourselves. So I love that you found that sort of niche to really support women in the town and beyond. Did you, growing up in Llanelli while you were at Coica School, did you ever think you'd run your own gym one day?
Absolutely not. No, definitely not. I think I sort of coasted through, not really thinking too far ahead. I liked I was always into sports, so football, athletics was my main thing. So I did track and field through secondary school, college, and then on to university then.
Were you fast?
I did. I found...
you were a 100-metre sprint runner?
400-metre hurdles, I did. Yeah, despite my height, I was quite good at hurdling.
I'd be good at running through them. I wouldn't jump over them.
Yeah, I was doing the sprint hurdles, and then as I moved up in age group, the hurdles got about the same height as me. So I moved to the 400-metre hurdles then, so it was a bit easier.
Can you duck under them? Is that allowed?
I have seen it in a race, yeah. and he beat me.
So Llanelli Athletics, were you part of that?
That's it. Yeah, I've been a member for like 20 years with the athletics club. Yeah.
I used to be a member when I was younger.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I weren't running.
No.
Discus and shot put.
Brilliant.
That's what I used to do.
In Stedman Heath? Or in...
Yeah, in Stedman Heath.
Yeah, so we trained in Stedman Heath.
Yeah, I did that for a couple of years. Quite enjoyed it. My one of my cousins in the family, Colin Lloyd, he's one of the triple jump record holders, I think, still.
I've definitely seen him in the record books. Yeah, because I did a little bit of triple jump, actually. So,
Okay,
I've definitely seen
Colin
that
Lloyd.
name. Yeah,
He's up
brilliant.
there. Unless you might have beaten his record, who knows?
No.
Great, so loving sport, growing up, you went on to study sports science, probably because you just enjoyed sport.
Yeah, that's it. It was a bit less thinking, I thought. If I stuck with sport, it wasn't quite as, didn't have to do the maths and things like that, which I was maybe didn't enjoy so much. So yeah, I just went with the sport, just sort of went with the flow of it and went on to do my degree in UWIC then, sports science.
Great. And after you graduated, what was the sort of plan for you then? You did your degree in sports. Did you just get, most people might say a normal job?
Yeah, absolutely. I think because I definitely overspent in university. I was only just 18 before going, so I'd never really gone out drinking or anything. So when I got to uni, that's when I sort of went out for the first time. So I definitely overspent a bit on our nights out and things. So I think at the third year uni, I was coming back every weekend to work in Tesco. I was pushing trolleys. And when I finished university then, I came back, carried on working in Tesco, and I managed to get a promotion to checkout team leader. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that could have been that, really. I think,
not knocking anyone who works in Tesco,
yeah.
Right? But yeah, you were sort of, I think I'm quite passionate about, especially young people, when I have discussions with young people about university, I'm wanting to choose, because there's a lot of pressure to go to university in schools. The teachers really push you to go to university. It's not the only route to success. No. If you want to be a lawyer, okay, or a doctor, you have to go to university, because those are sort of industries that need that sort of academic validation to get a job, right? But I think it's a bit of a waste of time, a waste of money, just going to university for the sake of it. But young people are really pushed and pressured to go to university. And I think it's, if you're going to study 3 years at the degree level in any university, surely it's got to be something that you're passionate about, or something that you'd want a job in that field. And thankfully, you've taken that approach and, years later, ended up sort of using part of that degree in your field, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's what I thought. Like working in Tesco, nice people, a nice sort of work-life balance. I could have happily sort of stayed there, but I thought, I've gone to uni, I've had a go, I've got this debt, which is probably, it's probably quadruple now if I'd have gone to uni now. But I thought, I got to give it a go.
Give it a go.
Yeah, just have a go at it. Yeah,
and that's what you did. You met a mentor along the way, somebody who had helped you in your time in Coica. So tell me a bit about your relationship with Richard.
Yeah, so I think when I was 16, I heard my cousin was working at this sort of sports camp. My cousin was a few years older than me. He did the sports science degree as well, and so Richard was running like a sort of summer camp in Coica School for children. It was brilliant, like loads of sports and things. It was so well organised, loads of staff. It was like he got specialists in to coach different things. So I wanted to work there, so I asked him, could I do any voluntary work? So I did a voluntary 2 weeks, I think I was there during the summer, and he was quite happy. So he gave me a little job then, and I was 16 then. I'm 34 now, so I've known him for 18 years, and yeah, he's been like a huge part of my business life. If I was to pick one person probably responsible for what I've done or who's helped to guide me, it would be him. Yeah.
Do you think it's important having a mentor in life, whether that's running a business or maybe just in your personal life?
Oh, 100%. I think just for accountability, it can be quite lonely as a business owner. Like I was just self-employed on my own personal training, and you've got nobody to turn to. So I think just having somebody there you can ask for advice, somebody who's maybe like ahead of you on the career or has gone through things, so they can relate, they can offer little sort of pieces of advice and things like that. Yeah, it's huge, I think. Yeah.
So as you sort of developed that relationship with Richard, he was sort of working in that space. So before you set up your own business, tell me, how did the opportunity come about to start Fit the Body Ladies? Because you were already training as a personal trainer?
Yeah, I'd actually been... So I'd done about 6 years on my own. personal training. I did sports massage as well. So
Did
I was
you?
doing a little bit of that. Yeah, I was over in Binya. I had like a little office I started with. I kitted it out first with the weights I had at home, like the free weights I used to have in my bedroom. I thought I'll bring them down there. I had a little poster of Sylvester Stallone up as Rocky,
Class.
and yeah, that was my own little business. I thought I didn't want to go into a public gym and sort of almost compete with other trainers and pay like high rent. So I thought I'm going to try it on my own. I knew for myself, like I'm naturally quite shy, and I think I'm not very salesy. So I imagined like going into a gym and seeing all these really like super confident like personal trainers approaching all the members. I just thought that wouldn't really work well for me. So I thought I'll go on my own. So yeah, and it was going all right. I was, I grew. I started in a little office, and then I moved to the slightly bigger one next door. And then I knocked down the wall and went back. So I had 3 offices now. And yeah, it was growing quite nicely. But then through Richard then, he told me about an opportunity. He said like he had his own mentor, whose name was Ricky. And Ricky
was mentoring Richard.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of ours. And Ricky had recently started like a small group ladies only exercise studio in Northampton. And then within a couple of years, they were up to like 4 locations. And through conversations, like Ricky thought about maybe expanding to Wales, but it was a bit too far to have any control. So that's where Richard came in, and that's where I came in. So Richard asked me if I wanted to have a go at it, like to open this ladies only gym, take Jamie Stedman out the business, call it Fit to Body Ladies, and just see what happened.
Excellent. And at the time then, were you sort of, you're doing a bit of sports massage, you're doing your one-to-one training. Did you have a real focus on women back then, or you were just training and massaging anyone and everyone?
Yeah, I think at that point I was, to be honest, like I'd really struggled. Like I was trying to develop, and I was maybe investing in some of these coaching programs and things, and they kept saying, find your niche. And I just didn't find it. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I really struggled with that element. So this was perfect then. This sort of fast-tracked that for me. And then I had a bit of identity then. And I did find my niche. Yeah.
It's a big cliche in business, but I think it is important. And it's not to say that you can operate outside of that niche, but if you can market and position yourself for a niche, that really helps get your messaging right and helps you generate leads and generate opportunities. So people, it's been the same in my business.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I rebranded as Stori Cymru. Because I didn't start as Stori Cymru.
No.
I started off in the wedding industry.
Yeah.
And then I realised after about 3 bridezillas that weddings are for me. I'll just go and do business to business. But for me, as a Welsh-speaking person and as someone who loves the Welsh language and loves helping businesses and loves telling stories, naturally, Stori Cymru just came to life.
Yeah.
In fact, it was Amy that came up with the name. And I was like, I don't know if I can call myself that. And it was a big risk for us. But, so many people, gave us the feedback that they really loved that. And I love it when I meet new customers or prospective customers and they just get the brand.
Yeah.
And branding's really important. And with you, building that sort of Fit the Body Ladies brand, well, that is quite, it's quite obvious who is your target market. So do you only operate with females? You won't let any males join the gym?
So, not in the gym, but I still have a few like personal training clients, males, who I've had like for years now, and they keep coming to me, and they're like my little bit on the side there. We can
bit on the side.
We could talk about sport and football and everything, and it's good. It's just to mix it up, because I'm definitely loyal, and I maybe to my own detriment sometimes. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, so I tried to, and that was my big maybe hesitation to opening up this business, because I had quite a good group of clients, quite a lot of male clients as well. So I was really nervous about transitioning over to this, but it worked. It was the best thing I did. I knew within a month or 2 that it was definitely the best career move that I'd made. Yeah,
because maybe early off there was a bit of a risk for you then, because with maybe more of a male more male clients you had initially,
Yeah.
you were probably maybe thinking, is this going to work? But I'm glad within a very quick time period, you realize it was working.
Yeah.
And do you think it's really important that for women in particular, that you've created a safe space for women only to come? Does that, because the gym intimidation, right? I've never had that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's very different for women. I can't put myself in their shoes because I've
Yeah.
never been in their shoes. But do you think that gym intimidation is sort of totally wiped out through what you do in Fit the Body Ladies? It gives them the confidence to train?
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's the aim. We do, everybody starts with an induction and everybody walks in like really, really nervous. They sit down on their chair and they're sort of, you can see with their face. Fast forward an hour, they're beaming when they're coming out. Like, I'm so passionate about exercise and how anybody can do it. Like, I've worked in like cardiac rehab, I've worked in cancer rehab, I've met people who started exercising like in their 80s. So like, I know it's never too late to start exercising, and it's such a powerful thing. So yeah, I wanted the ladies to be able to experience that, and I think that's what we've sort of grown into now, is the ladies come to us because they've tried other places and it just hasn't worked for them, whereas they come to us and like they're accepted straight away, and like we call it at your own pace policy. So we can sort of meet them where they're at. We get loads of ladies who come to us who haven't exercised since PE, probably since like a bad experience of PE. So it's trying to get them, like, that's my aim, is for everyone to have like a positive relationship with exercise. It doesn't have to take over their lives, but just doing a little bit. Yeah.
Some of these women who maybe have come to train with you, what are maybe some of those challenges that they faced previously, because they've tried it and it hasn't worked? What are maybe some of those challenges that they've come across that perhaps Fit the Body Ladies fixes or provides a solution?
I think, like, going back to like maybe like a normal sort of gym environment or a normal class environment, I think, because I used to do it, I used to take like a kettlebell class twice a week and they were beastins. Like, I used to come up with ways of like, oh, how can I make this harder? How can I make this harder? And so I think a lot of these ladies have been to classes like that. They've come in, they've stood at the back thinking, what am I doing here? And like, I can't keep up. And then they won't be able to move for the next week. And that might be it then. They might not try anything again for another few months. Also from like a diet perspective as well, I think like a lot of ladies have dieted all their lives and they haven't really like trying to focus on like a short-term diet, something that works, but they know it's unsustainable, and they just keep going on almost on the hamster wheel of diet to diet or exercise program to exercise program. So like our aim, like our focus is to make the ladies healthier. Naturally then, potentially they'll lose weight if that's their goal, or they'll get fitter, they'll feel better. So everything we do is around health, and it's about just little improvements, just trying to be a little bit better, sort of cliche, but like progress, not perfection. I think that's the aim. Yeah.
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
That's a fridge magnet
Yeah,
right there.
that's it.
So you started the business. You had that experience as a personal trainer, for all these years, and you set up the business just before COVID.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
So what is your COVID survival story?
So I'd been going on my own for a few years, and then this opportunity came about, which I've just mentioned, and we were at, it was October 2019. So that's when I started Fit Body Ladies. We had our first induction program, I think the start of November. So I did November, December, January, February, and then the world went a bit to pot. The only positive from COVID was there was a flood in the building. So underneath where we had the gym, it had flooded. There was no electric in the building. So I was charging lights to come. I was almost doing classes by candlelight in the week before. And yeah, I was told on the Wednesday that I was going to have to close. The building wasn't safe to be in, so I was going to have to find a new venue, which, like, probably as you know, it takes so long to set anything up and refurb, find a new location, things like that, get a lease sorted out. So 2 days later, we went into lockdown. So that was the one positive, is I had time to find a new premises. But I was back we went to lockdown on the Friday. On the Monday, on the Saturday, I'd heard about this thing called Zoom, which now everybody in the world knows about.
What is that?
Yeah. And yeah, that was my business. My business was on Zoom come the Monday morning. I'd bought a little like Wi-Fi dongle because there was no electric in the building. So I'd charged up a little dongle, put my laptop there, and I was doing online classes on the Monday. So
wow.
Yeah. So we'd built up to, I think we had like 50 members. So we'd built up nicely over the first few months. And then And then, yeah, obviously COVID happened, so I had to try it. Like, that was my aim over there. I'd never worked so hard for so little, seemingly. Like, that was the aim, was just going above and beyond for all these ladies. So I was doing, when eventually, like, we weren't even allowed to go in the building anymore, so I was doing 3 workouts a day from my living room. My wife was hiding outside. Occasionally she'd walk through to make her breakfast while I'm in front of the camera. We did fancy dress workouts, fun Fridays. And yeah, just tried to like over deliver just to give these ladies something. And like they said, like, I think that was one of the only things that people had control over during like the pandemic was their health almost, and like exercise. So yeah, it became a really powerful thing. So yeah, I managed to keep most of the members through COVID, and managed to reopen in a new location. We had a bit of a boom then. There was a big appetite for people to look after their health then. And yeah, that's when we started properly then, was later on then, post-COVID.
Brilliant. And I'm sure that was a bit of a lifesaver for some people, because a lot of people really struggled with their mental health during COVID. Being locked inside is not healthy for anyone.
No.
So to give, because there's a lot, I'm sure you can maybe unpack, there's a lot of science that backs up dopamine release or things like that when you exercise. What's the sort of academic side or the psychological side? When we exercise, it produces good things, good hormones in us.
Yeah, absolutely. All the different endorphins then. There's actually, like, interesting you said that. I read only a few weeks ago that for the first time ever, like, they've done a big study on why people exercise. And for probably decades, it's been weight loss. But for the first time now, it's for mental health. And we've almost like, yeah, and that's such a big thing. You just feel so much better after it. Like, there's maybe the perception that people are too tired to exercise, but they're probably tired because they're not exercising. And I think, like, I do all my training in the morning, and it just sets me up. Like, my day starts once I've exercised. I think I'm knackered before. So yeah, it's just, I think it's the most powerful. Like, if you could package everything from exercise into a little pill, I think they'd be queuing out at the pharmacy for it, because it's just the most powerful thing, I think. Yeah.
That's good. So you started Fitter Body Ladies just before COVID, or in that period. Over the last couple of years, the business has been doing well. You've been growing as well. You've opened a couple more locations. What's it been like for you? Because, being frank, you haven't had a lot of business experience in this space. It's all new to you.
Yeah.
What's it been like through the growth of this business? Because it's been rapidly growing, and some of us as business owners can have trouble when our businesses grow too quickly. I've seen it where businesses grow too quickly and they fail. And it's really important as business owners, we manage that growth in a sustainable way. So what's it been like for you managing that growth? Because potentially it could have gone, really pear-shaped quite quickly.
100%. I think I liked having control over everything, and I was so used to I'd make every decision. I'd be the accountant, the cleaner, the kit man, everything. So that was like such a big challenge when I found myself, actually, I can't do this for much longer on my own. Like, I knew I didn't have time to do it all and to still deliver like a good service. So yeah, I got a couple of coaches involved first, and it's hard to let go of things. I think it's quite challenging to actually give somebody responsibility. You think, it'll take me ages to show somebody how to do that. I can just do it myself in 5 minutes. And I think that sort of thinking is where probably maybe business owners really struggle with that. I remember before Fitter Body Ladies, I wouldn't really invest in the gym. I'd see everything as like almost my money. I'm like, I can't afford a new rowing machine. I'm not spending £500 on a rowing machine. So I think the best thing I did was when I created as a business, I sort of stepped away from that, like from a financial perspective. I was like, that's the business's money. That's fine. Like, businesses need to spend money to bring in new people. So yeah, I never saw myself in a position of like managing staff, like being a business owner, things like that. I think sometimes I just sort of fell into it, really. So I had a bit, that was one of my challenges. I kept thinking, I'm too busy to, like, with all the coaching and everything like that, I'm struggling to grow the business because I'm so much in the business. And I thought, that's the aim, is to maybe try and free myself up a bit more just to work on the business. And when I did manage to do that for the first time, I was thinking, actually, how do I do this? I've never been showed how to work on the business. I just always said I was too busy to work on there. And then when I actually freed myself up, I struggled to know what to do, really. So again, going back to like having a mentor, like Fit Body Ladies is a franchise, so we've got like a franchise group above, and just having that support network of people to help you with that's huge.
It's important because there's two ways you can look at running a business. You either are in one mode where you're working in the business, or the other mode is working on the business.
Yeah.
And if you can get to that point where you can delegate certain tasks and you've got the resource to employ staff to then work on the things that maybe anyone can do, it frees your own time up then to do the things that only you can do. And I've started to realise this over the last 6 months of running my business. We're up to a team of about 4 people now, and it's great to have the time freed up so that I can work on the really important things. So I'm trying to do less of the filming, because if I'm out filming all day, helping supporting multiple customers, there's not enough time then I can work on the business.
Yep.
So I'm at that sort of tipping point now where I could keep it really lean, right? So me and my wife, we're the directors of the business. I built this business. I started 5 years ago. It could just be me.
Yeah.
There are lots of businesses out there, one-man band videographers.
Yeah.
And I think that, to really earn a good income doing that, you got to keep your costs really, really lean. And I think for me, I'd probably be working 70 hours a week to make it profitable.
Yeah.
And what's the point of working 70 hours a week when I could just get a job in Tesco? So to get the rewards out of the business, I think you've got to bring the income in, you've got to bring the sales in, but to work on the sales, you've got to be working on the business. You can't be in the business.
Yeah.
So I guess you've sort of experienced that where you've been, I don't know, can they maybe coach as good as I can? I'll just do it myself. But having that thinking is actually limiting the opportunity to bring someone in. And it's a bit of a trust thing, isn't it? It's quite hard to give that sort of responsibility over to someone because the customer might have a bad experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think previously, like when it was just me on my own, you took me, say I was ill or I went on holiday, that's it, the business shuts.
Yeah.
So I think, the best thing I did was hire some good coaches. It's hard, to get the right people, and but like that's the aim, is to find somebody better than you, which like maybe at first I was thinking, I don't want people better than me. I quite like being, but that's I guess the growth mindset really, isn't it? And just starting to let go, and that's when when things can like really take off then. Yeah, which is
for you, I think, as a small gym owner, probably what's really important to you is maybe the intimacy and the level of support you can give a group of women. Because if you've got 200 women training at Llanelli, I don't know, is it possible to keep track of all those people and check them in?
It's hard, yeah. I think that would be the sort of limit then. Like my aim is like I want every coach or myself to know every single member's names and like to know a little bit about them, like know when they're going on holiday, know if they're going through things. And I think like it's trying to create this, like we call it like a fitness family or fitness community. And it's huge. And that's what people keep going back for. We always say like they join usually for weight loss, but they stay because they like it, because they're recognized and they just have a nice experience. And I think that's what people come back for, because especially if they've had a bad day, just going to the gym on their own isn't overly sort of motivating. So to know you're coming there with nice people who are just going to sort of guide you through it, and there's no pressure. We always say like the only pressure comes from you. Like people think, I need to get fitter before I join, or I need to lose weight before I join. But no, it's just like I said, we meet them where they're at, and we'll just help them. Yeah,
that's good, because I imagine a lot of the women that you support are maybe on different fitness journeys. Some maybe have a lot more experience than others. So to bring them all into the same space that they can train at their own pace is quite unique, really. Because if you go to a corporate gym class, well, like you said, you used to take these kettlebell classes.
Yeah.
Maybe for a woman who has no experience in the gym, all of a sudden that intimidation kicks in. I can't do that. So I think it's important to train at their own pace, so they feel comfortable, so that they can get fitter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like sometimes now we're trying to slow people down. I say, right, calm down, because we're trying to think like we want to see these ladies come like 3 or 4 times a week, because that's when like the proper lifestyle changes happen. So if they go, like we often see with the new ladies, they go a bit too hard, they get a bit swept up in the class atmosphere. So that's our job, is to try and slow people down. Like, avoid injuries and things like that. And we just don't want that negative sort of experience with exercise. We want them to keep coming back, keep enjoying it. Yeah.
And why is it important that people exercise, really simply? Because I look at some people, weight loss is a big thing, to lose weight. Mental health, the benefits it has of exercising. I might see some people and go, why are you training? You look amazing. Like you're skinny. You look healthy. But why is it that we should really prioritise exercise? We're taught these things in school. We should exercise X amount a day. What sort of tips can you give to maybe people who maybe know later on in life the health is catching up with them? Because when we're younger, we can get away with eating whatever we want, right? But I'm getting more of that experience now where people very close to me, sadly, have lost their lives due to their health. And it's a bit of a health scare sometimes, knowing what's going on, diabetes, obesity, these sorts of things. What are some tips you can give to maybe encourage people to take that small step to getting healthier?
Yeah, I think like we've still got a big amount of control over our health. So I think like that's what we try and do like with the newer ladies, just focus. I say week 1, water and workout. So it's just getting them to move more. It doesn't have to be like a hard exercise session. It could be going for a walk, just getting outdoors, doing 10 minutes, just drinking a bit more water, just looking at the diet a little bit more and trying to cut down on the processed foods as much as possible. And yeah, it's just all about just a little bit of movement. Like, there's always something people can do. I think like people can give up. Like we've got some like amazing, like inspiring ladies who, like we've got one lady, she can have a little shout out, Lynn. She comes in the walking stick. She's had a stroke. She did everything from a chair at first, and now she's pushing a 40-kilo sled. Wow. There's a lot of ladies with, like her, who are really inspiring. And I know a lot of people would have given up in their situation, but they haven't. So I think, and with that, she's created like like a friendship group, and like we're a support network now. And I think that's it's such a huge thing. And I think that's what exercise can bring. You can meet people. It just gives you more energy, more confidence is a huge thing. And I think that's the big reason to exercise, is just to feel better, because I think everybody deserves to just feel good and feel happy in their own skin. And big believer of that. Yeah.
Great. Well, I'd love to meet Lynn one day. That sounds amazing. That she's turned her life around.
Oh, she's our little sort of local celebrity. I think everybody knows who Lynn is. And what we try and do for Fit Body Ladies, we try to celebrate success, which like a lot of people don't have any medals or certificates or anything like that since they leave school. So like a couple of weeks ago, we did our annual awards night. So there was about 80 of us down in Vellinvole, and we do the awards night. So we had a photographer there, DJ, everything. And we had about 15 different awards categories for all sorts of things. And Lynn got an award, and she always gets a good ovation. Yeah.
Did you win anything?
No, again, yeah.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Severely outnumbered I was there, me and 79 women. Yeah.
Oh, it's great to hear some of that journey of what you've been through from your personal training to creating this business. What's maybe next for Fitter Body Ladies? Where do you see the sort of business taking off over these next few years?
So we're up to 6 locations now in South Wales. And the aim is to open, because what we found is like little villages, little communities that Fit Body Ladies works really well in. So that's our aim, is to hopefully open some more locations in Wales, maybe one in Carmarthen, or sort of work our way down the M4 and have these little groups, because they're really powerful, and there's a wider reach as well. It's not just probably the ladies that come to us, it's their children, it's their partners. So that's the aim. Like that's my aim, is to just try and help as many people get as healthy as possible, really. So that's what Fit Body Ladies can hopefully become. Yeah.
I'm just curious then, to set up some of these new locations, does it require a lot of equipment? Because I know it can be quite expensive buying gym equipment to set up the gym.
So we try and be quite lean with the equipment. So all we need is a bit of floor space, really. We've got a couple of like rower machines, ski machines, things like that. The boxing, ladies tend to love the boxing, so we've got boxing bags. We've got like boys you see in the water. We've got them hanging, so they're aqua bags, and they're quite popular. But no, we just need a bit of space, and that's what we work with. Then all of the sessions are like instructor led. So again, going back, a lot of the ladies don't know what to do, so we just guide them through everything. Then, so we just need a bit of floor space, a few weights, and we're good to go. Then, really, yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear where you take the business in Wales over these next few years, because I think that the fact that you've found a niche and that you're really passionate about supporting women specifically, and it tends to be middle-aged women women who are maybe struggling with their health later on in life. So the fact you found that niche and you're there to support and encourage and give confidence to these women is brilliant. It's not a gym I'm going to go to because you won't let me in. But it's great to know that there's a place for some of these women to feel confident, to feel part of a community, encouraging one another, the awards, all that. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Thank you.
To see what you've built and to go from, COVID just setting up and then all of a sudden your gym's flooded and then, where are we going to go? What's it like for you? Now reflecting on this conversation, almost like looking back at what you've built. What's it like for you looking back to see over these last sort of 5 years what you've built?
Yeah, I don't know if you can relate to this as a business owner, but it's so easy to just get caught in the day-to-day. And one thing I'm not very good at W is just like reflecting on what you've done. You sort of get so busy just thinking about, I need to do this, I need to do that. I'm not very good at like looking back and, I guess the awards night's a very good thing actually, because that's when I actually stop for a bit and I sit down and think, actually, like we are helping so many people. Because, it's so easy to just get caught up in the day-to-day stuff. And, and to not really think about like, what you've actually achieved and things. I haven't got a big ego or anything like that. I'm just trying my best. I'll do what I can with the time I've got. So, and obviously you've given me an opportunity here to actually look back rather than look forward, which tends to be
I think
thinking.
Humility is a big thing in business, and it's something that it's a personal value that I hold quite dear, because I think humility says a lot. Integrity says a lot about your character as a person. But there is a time and a place to give yourself a pat on the back, and to know that, do you know what? I deserve this recognition. I deserve an award. I deserve, this pat on the back. But to see what you've built, because it's not easy. There are a lot of competition in this space locally, and it could be quite hard to look at and see what other people are doing. But to focus on your niche and to really target those women that need that support. And I've tried this. I've tried kettlebells, Jamie. I've tried spin classes. It's not going to work for me. And you've given them away to encourage them and bring them in. And you've got a community of quite a lot of ladies who are now fitter, they're happier, and they're healthier. So well done, mate.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see more locations in the future. Before we close, I'd love to hear maybe somebody who's really inspired you on your fitness journey, maybe somebody who's influenced you to start your business. Whose story would you love to hear? I'd love to get your input in this. If you're going to sit down with somebody very influential, inspirational, we've had a time to hear your own personal story. Whose story would you love to hear, Jamie?
Probably a little bit cliche for a fitness guy, but he was definitely a few years ahead of me. But Joe Wicks, he gets a lot of stick, but like what he's done is incredible, really. Especially like now he's working with families and things, and I know now as a parent, like it's hard to find the time. So he's tried to get families exercising and stuff, and I think. Over COVID, he did so much good stuff, and he travels around the world now, and he gets people just to meet up and have a little run, and it's all about just doing something. So, and I think he maybe started like similar to me and just in a little room, sort of private training, and now he's pretty much like a global brand. And
with a Wi-Fi dongle and a flooded gym.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I remember just looking at videos of him like making like quick little meals and looking out the window and shouting at people. And it's inspiring. It's nice to see somebody else in the fitness industry doing well. I said to you off camera earlier, I think in the fitness industry, there's a tendency for everybody to be quite territorial, but there's only about 20% of the UK population with a gym membership. So there's a lot of people who haven't, and there's a lot of people, even in a small community like Llanelli, there's a lot of people, to work with. So I don't think we need to be as territorial with our clients and things like that. And I think there's enough people to help for everyone, really. And just going back, Joe Wicks, I'd just like to know sort of how he did it all, like, where he went with it. And
Right. Why did he get a lot of stick then?
I think people questioned his qualifications, and he was like the sort of weight loss coach, and I think he had a lot of stick from the nutrition gurus who were saying like, that's got too many calories in, you can't eat that and lose weight and things like that. But
probably quite subjective, because there's obviously a science to things, right? But maybe something you might have a preference and say maybe you should eat this more than that, and somebody else might say different. So there is no hard and fast rule, is there?
No, it's so personal to everyone, really. So exactly. It's Yeah, like you said, it's 100% subjective, really, and yeah, that's what we say with the ladies. Really, it's just we've gone away from calorie counting and things like that, and we're just trying to work on just making better decisions. So all of a sudden, then it's not a diet; it's just almost a way of life, really, and it's just something long term, something sustainable, that's the key. Then, yeah.
So if you're a lady that needs a fitter body, where might these ladies find out more about what you do, Jamie?
So on Facebook, Instagram, like just simply Fitter Body Ladies Llanelli, or if you just go into Google, type in Fitter Body Ladies Llanelli, and that'll take you to my page. And we've got locations in Hendy, Sketty, Pontardawe, Llanishen, and a newer one in Cardiff Centre now. So, yeah.
Will they find you at Personal Trainer Llanelli?
No, that's finished now. Yeah,
anymore.
Personal Trainer Llanelli. Yeah, that's done now. So it's Fitter Body Ladies Llanelli. Yeah.
Body ladies. Well, Jamie, thanks for coming in. Appreciate Melrose for the introduction as one of your good customers.
Yeah, she's an amazing member, and that's the ladies we work with are incredible. Like it's so brilliant to see like the community. Like we've got writers, we've got almost like little local celebrities coming to us, and yeah, some really powerful like business women. We've got nurses, doctors, everything, and it's such like a powerful community, and it's so nice to just see them just in their own time, just exercising and just prioritising that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Jamie, for coming down. Thank you for sharing your own story, and yeah, excited to see where Fit the Bodies ladies goes for these many years to come. So, diolch am dod. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James. Appreciate it.
And that is cut. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Well done. You're taking over the world.
That's it, yeah.
That's excellent. No, thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
No, it's okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry. I'm glad. I'm glad.